Happy Friday, everyone. Oh, I do love this soundboard. I do love getting to hear some music for y'all before we even begin. Is good times. And I hope this finds you all doing well. Oh, what a week it has been. Oh, my goodness. Just waiting as the chat comes live. So, let us see whom I can give shoutouts to. First thing, Helsing Ghost over on Twitch. Thank you for joining us. And see, I should get the Twitch. There we go. And I've seen some buds over on the YouTubes. Enderpup and Jude 3300. Oh boy, here. Sorry, Jeff, I'm gonna mispronounce your name again. Okazinski, Ranch Hog, Gojalion 91, Trinary, who's also keeping tabs on when I get my time zones wrong. I am forever cursed with figuring out the right time zone. And I see Kimoja Steel, Ali Penner, and Little Heart Raccoon. A name I'm not sure I recognize. Oscar Reviews 547. Welcome. And Rainbow Flower, Prince Apollo, and Renamon 565. And welcome to Rodan and Battlecross. And of course, Numa Ruiz Gallardo. I think I've graduated. You don't have to spell your name phonetically all the time. I think, but I don't know. And Stephen Hayes. Oh, and also Rosefire14 and Blue Griffin on Twitch. Trinary's jumping between Twitch and YouTube. You're all over the place. You're crazy. So let's see here. Pokemon Fire Eevee. Good to see you. And Thaddeus Rischer. Let's see here. And Luna Brony, a person after my own heart. Makoto Mantis and Champ to Stay. Oh, and who's this? Katrina Raptus. And Champ, yes, I did not stream last week. I needed a little bit of a break, but I didn't want to repeat that this week. Not because of any problems, but this week, it's been an uncertain week. Hence, I didn't reach out to have a guest tonight. It's going to be me, myself, and I. You got to deal with me 100% all the time. Or at least for the span of this stream. So part of it being, I wasn't sure if I'd get to stream with all of you tonight. Originally, around 5 o'clock my time, which was literally an hour ago, I would have been at the dentist, starting my weekend with getting teeth cleaning. So having someone scrape my teeth with a metal pick. Oh, Riverdale, good to see ya. And Furcorn Nick, who instantly thought of continuity. Marvelous. So fortunately, an opening came up early in the day, but that meant I had to leave work, do the cleaning, get back to work, and sweat out the last couple hours. Whoop. My Twitch is buffering. Tell me that doesn't sound Freudian. Anyway, please let me know if there's any audio troubles, visual troubles. Hasn't been a lot of motion because I haven't started drawing. Let's fix that. Tonight, I am, well, being a bit self-indulgent. This is for an issue of Imani. I'm working on the ruins of the castle of the Two Sisters. Granted, not as relevant in continuity right now as there's currently a giant crystal clubhouse occupying this space. But for the sake of looking back in time, I must continue on. Besides, I am always hopeful that elements from here can be applied to other ideas, so nothing's ever truly, a one-shot effort. Yes, and let's see, Cosmic Trail, I'm on Mountain Time, which makes it a little bit hard for me to calculate things, I'm afraid. As Troy pointed out, I said that this was taking place at 7 Eastern Standard Time, but it is 8 o'clock. I make it late for everyone. Sorry. So, let's see here. Just checking through comments real quick. Champ, I have had to deal with a sunburn on multiple occasions. It's never fun. Here's the thing. I have a proud Irish ancestry, so I skip tanning completely. I go straight to burning. And so, therefore, I've had to deal with more than a few sunburns in my life. And mostly it's aloe vera and just try not to poke it, even though it's strangely tempting. I remember when I was a kid, I reclined on a pool trip, and I was out in the sun too long, so my entire back had sunburn for a little while, which was bad on its own, but then our dog at the time loved to jump up and say hi. So he jumps up and rests his paws on my back. And I just like, yow! You know, you can never stay mad, but there's a reason dogs are adorable. Cuteness is the natural defense because otherwise you'd be furious at them. Now, Thaddeus, that is a gross stereotype. We do not live perpetually in the mountains. In fact, it takes me a whole hour to get there. I'm more of a plains guy. Yes. Oh, Sapphire Heartsong, and also known as Emmett Christie, is in the chat. And yes, you heard crystals. Heck, I helped do a reaction to Sailor Moon Crystal's movies last weekend. So yes, crystals abound. Because we all know that Sapphire is Sparkle Horse incarnate. Wait, did I say? I'm getting my screen names mixed up. Oh man, I'm getting all. I mostly know her as Anna Christie and that young lady who calls me old guy. But let's see here. Okay, Steven, I will not spoil anything on Sailor Moon. Other than the question, and this is not necessarily a spoiler, why does the cast keep envisioning one another naked? It's really weird. It's like, I think of Safi. I think of Sweetie Bloom and Anthony C. I think of all of my buds, and I don't picture them naked. That's not how this works. I picture a face, maybe. I do not picture them in their birthday suits. I was like, okay, is this fan service? Is this supposed to denote their purity? No. I think it's just, well, okay, maybe the fan service part. But I was just like, okay, it's enough. It's enough. Oh my God, they're having another flashback envisioning. Come on. Madness, I tell you. Ah, yes, and as I expected, there are folks variously questioning about the reveals of the G forecast. Not going to name names. If you're trying to avoid spoilers, well, okay, I caution you, stay off the internet then. I'm afraid at this point, the news is out there on the vocal cast, even some secondary characters. But there's no way to avoid spoilers if you're consistently online and on sociable events such as this. Hello, Kenny Arcane Pony 197. Welcome. Let's see here. And Wolfie Star. Helsing raises a good point. Now that I have properly muted my own stream so you're not hearing an echo, I should get some music going. Good thinking. But on the topic of the, well, how should I put this? On the topic of the voice cast, truth is I've never been that great at recognizing voice actors and actresses. I just go with the characters. Eventually, if I become well versed in a character and I recognize, oh, that's so-and-so, played by da-da-da. Okay, but for the most part, I don't know these actors and actresses. I just want to hear how they perform as characters. And let's see here. There we go, little music. Let me know if this music gets too loud. I hear it differently because I'm using headphones. And it's not even coming across the call audio. Pardon me, un momentito. Call audio. Why do you vex me? Ah, that's why. That's why. I set it to the wrong thing. So, with that in mind, all these folks seem energetic. I like the sounds of their voices, and I'm looking forward to hearing them as their true ponies. Okay, how's this doing? There we go. All right, back to it. Now, most important of all, I have not yet gotten to learn a whole hay of a lot about the characters, and character is paramount. That's what I want to know. Maybe a bit loud? Let's see here. Brought it down a little. Still loud. Well, I'm a couple seconds ahead, so... Gosh, it's that loud. Okay, I've turned it down like really far now. Goodness. See, this is the danger with headphones, ladies and gents. I do, and others, I do not know how bad it sounds. Okay, that's great. That's great. I'm gonna have to figure out like a trick to this. Maybe just mark off on my soundboard. This is the level you want your computer to play music. Anyway. I'm getting conflicting. Oh, sorry, Fetch. This particular bit of music is just sort of a rhythm. It's from the YouTube royalty-free library, so you're not going to get a ton of diversity, which is kind of weird. Oh, but now there's a little shuffle sound effect. Yeah. What is that? Like a... Oh, shoot. What is that instrument called? It's like a maraca, except it's steel, a series of beads along a metal center. Metal center. So, now that I have completely lost the ability to talk, as is my wont. So, although I will share with all of you... Crystal Twain Delight. You've been showing your dad My Little Pony seasons 1 through 8. Okay, I'll be honest. I don't know if Shadow Play... Was it Shadow Play? No, that was School Rays. My bad. I thought you were ending it with Shadow Play season 7, and Shadow Play wasn't a particularly strong season finale. I go into season finales and I ask myself, if this were the last episode of the entire series, would I be okay with it? I have to say, funny thing is that in the early seasons, that answer was usually no. It got better as time went on. It got better. Okay, there we go. Oh, yes. Thank you. Thank you, Safi. I am going to have the pleasure of being a community guest at Everfree Northwest in just a little over a month. That blows my mind. I'm just looking forward to it. I've missed people. I've missed getting to celebrate the show with fans. Of course, I need to start getting I have my panels submissions ready. Or rather, I've submitted my panel ideas. I need to get together the actual presentations. I also like to roll my R's. I don't mean to sound pretentious, I just like it. Sound like a motorboat. Now, Venpai. I agree, I like the season 9 ending. No, it was basically saying no matter what happens, they are happy and they are still friends. It takes effort, and I like that. Season 4 was like Twilight got a new castle, and she ascended to her role of Princess of Friendship. I would really feel frustrated if that was the hard stop, because it's like, oh, there's this whole new phase of her life. Don't cut me out of it now. I need my fix. Let's see here. Little Heart, Season 9 gave you feels. Crying emoji. Yeah, it did. I still remember, I remember seeing folks tearing up during it. Some of the folks on Bronies React were tearing up. I guess I'm more of a Flint heart. Maybe a Glom Gold, I don't know. Also, happy 4th of July to everyone. I hope it's going to be a good celebration. Last year, actually I'm trying to recall, my friends and I, oh, Trinary, still spoiling me. I tell you, it's going to spoil me so bad. But what was I trying to say? My friends and I believe we got together, there's this great spot near where some of my buds live. It's the top of a public transit garage, but of course it's so late at night no one's using it. But here's the thing. It has a panoramic view of the Front Range. And so we don't get one fireworks show, we get all of them. We get to see fireworks far in the distance, not too far away. The sound carries just fine, so you're never lacking for that impact. It's a beautiful sight, but last year we gathered, but it was just to, only see like a handful because many places rightly canceled. And also we were trying to keep distance while on top of that. This year we can be together, we can ooh and ah, and I can make bad puns and they'll say those 3 little words that mean so much to me. I hate you. I know for other people it goes a certain different way, but for me, true friends are the ones who just hear a pun from me and say, I hate you so much. Meh. I have unique priorities. So, anywho. So, there have been a few cancellations, but it's going to be a much stronger showing this year, and I'm very happy for that. Oh, Chardary, thank you. Oh, and here's Sweetie Bloom. She's actually just recent to the club of saying, I hate you. Because our Sailor Moon reaction gave me the opportunity to make many awful, awful puns, which I believe you'll get to see in part 2, coming out next week. Oh, go ahead and hate me more. Hate me more, Sweetie Bloom. It is nectar. Feed me your rage. I actually did that quote for my family, and they have never seen the Dungeons and Dragons movies, so they were more just put off by my performance. But that's actually par for the course. Now let's see here. Oh, Safi raises a point, and Trinary offered very good advice just before the stream. A lot of dogs don't know how to handle fireworks. My brother, he's mentioned that his dog Jack, who's only recently joined our family, he gets really freaked out as people are setting off personal amateur fireworks. And I can only imagine how tough it's going to be for so many families, and especially canines, this Sunday. My brother has gotten some sedatives, and these are, you give them to a dog and they are out like a light very quickly. And so, I'm not saying, just give your dog a random sedative. No. Talk to your vet, see if they can prescribe a good sedative, or at least give some sort of advice that can give the poor dog some peace, just for an evening. And what are some other things you can do? I think if you can keep your dog indoors, one of the big fears is that the fireworks scare dogs into bolting. At which point they're at risk. People who are traveling are at risk. Better to keep them safe. Actually, the Sweetie Bloom points out July 5th is the worst day for animal shelters. That's dealing with the fallout events. Sweetie, if you have any advice to offer to people how they can help their dogs, just post it in the chat. I will do all I can to echo it and say it publicly. It's funny, the music that's playing right now is often used by Neebs Gaming when they play Among Us. So to hear it, I'm instantly having images of some of the best, worst game players. They're bad at what they do in many cases, but they're so much fun, and they have fun doing it. Let's see here. First thing she says, in caps, but I shan't shout at everyone. Microchip your animals. If you can have the means to keep tabs on them, should the worst happen, having that fallback, that ability to know where they are and how quickly and make rescue that much faster, great idea. So microchipping your pets is an excellent idea. Let's see here. Champ wondering what is my favorite Disney movie? Oh, man, that's a hard one. I think I will go with Up. Disney Pixar, but still. Mostly because I joke how the My Little Pony ending couldn't quite get me to tear up, but by gosh, the montages in Up. You will believe a man can cry. Strong men also cry. So, now, if we're going for, say, purely Disney, i.e. the Disney Renaissance, I would go with Aladdin. I love Aladdin. It's fun, it's adventurous, it's just perfect. I'm sorry, Katrina, I might cry. Yes, and I'm always sus. Oh, wait, I'm sorry, I need to offer a correction. I thought microchips did help track. No, I'm wrong. Sweetie Bloom is correcting me. Microchips don't track your animals. They allow people who find them to identify the owners even if there isn't a caller. So it still speeds in the rescue and reuniting, but it's not a tracker. I could swear that some places advertised you could keep tabs on your pet through a chip. I may be just bonkers on this one. Apologies. Thank you for the correction, sweetie. Let's see here. Jonathan Magny. To myself and Sweetie Bloom. Have you guys heard of the Hub channel? I'm assuming we're talking about the Hub, what used to be, well, it used to be the Hub, then it became Discovery Family, unless my memory is completely failing me, which is fully possible. It's been a long week. But if I remember right, it started with the Hub and went to Discovery. Let's see here. Unnamed Hero, I'm glad that you still have the Doom flag. Oh, I keep forgetting to bring those in to give to my coworkers. There've been a few times they could use them these past weeks. But, yes, apparently I was thinking of GPS, which is much harder and more expensive. And it's attached to the collar, good to know, so it's not as effective, or at least it sounds like a microchip is more of a solid failsafe than GPS, in fact, and less expensive, which is good, smart. And let's see here. 20,000. Helsing, you're looking at memory 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Oh, it's been forever since I saw that. Though oddly, I was watching some clips from the Black Hole earlier this week. I never really thought a Disney movie could be scary, but anyone who's seen Maximilian doesn't sound like a frightening character name, especially if nowadays you envision a Pegasus after it. But Maximilian is one of the most threatening robots in cinema. I mean, HAL 9000 is like, oh, please don't let him see me. Just walk away or float away. Oh, please don't come near me. That's how creepy Maximilian is. Arguably one of the most threatening of Disney's creations. Nope, Little Heart, it is Maximilian. No clever pay, it's just Maximilian. Red Gnome saying I have to pick my favorite Disney movies based on era? Oh, I don't know. Gosh, I'd have to look up the eras. The truth is, Disney, even when they're bad or outdated, they're memorable. I mean, heck, I still crack up at Bedknobs and Broomsticks. Especially when they're kicking Nazis in the tushy. I mean, granted, I know these days, I don't know if that's as funny as it once seemed, but yeah, I still enjoy the sight. Let's see here. And the name Maximilian is one of the villains in Overwatch that is a non-playable character. Ah, good point, River. I wonder if that was intentional, like a reference to the monster in question. I remember Maximilian. He's the financial, I forget the exact term, robot that, no, Omnic. There we go. Brain clicks there. Yes, he was a financial Omnic crime boss. But I'm afraid he can't compare to the hulking red monster with spinning blades. And just the violence he seems to embody. Noah Harris. Yes, continuity. Worst cooking fail I ever made, champ? Oh boy. Take your pick. Actually, I recall one night I was feeling adventurous, so I tried to make some homemade soup. But I did it completely wrong and really just ended up with very watery noodles. Okay, that doesn't sound very adventurous, but it was disappointing. I mean, you know, you're trying for something and you end up with literally nothing. Now, the funniest cooking fail was actually watching my friends Advent Nebula and Kaiju no Kami. They were making pasta sauce, and let's just say that by the end, heating it up rather, and by the end, there was pasta sauce on pretty much all the walls. Cruella Cocaine comes home and she just looks at it like, what happened? It looked like there'd been a murder horror movie. Slashersville. And I'm over on the sofa just taking this in thinking, oh, thank God I didn't try to do this. Oh, thank God. Because then I would have been just so ashamed, just so embarrassed. But we have never quite forgotten this. Actually, there are many culinary adventures with my friends. One was we were talking about mixing drinks one time, and a friend of ours was just talked himself backwards in time. He's like, oh yeah, I've got a great blender. Do I have a blender? I don't have a blender. Which became a sort of an infamous running joke with us. It's like, how did we get from volunteering that you do have a blender to existential crisis of blenders? He had Schrodinger's blender. It both did and did not exist. Let's see here. Oh, okay. Oh, sorry, for winter when I saw Hard Pass on Cruella, it's Hard Pass on the movie from Unnamed Hero. I wasn't sure if you were doing a hard pass on the villain. Now then, why is this not working with me? It should be behind the grass. There we go. Well, the grass should be behind it. Wow, I cannot talk tonight. Oh, hello, Master Code. Oh, yes. My video, must have been buffering something because I was lagging way behind there. Okay, there we go. Let's see here. Trinary, are you able to hear me? Okay, good. My goodness. Technical difficulties abound some nights. Still, I was never as awkward as I was my very first stream when well, let's see here. I believe I had several false starts, plus I had a stream waiting for 3 hours because I had tried scheduling it and hadn't realized I'd gone live. That'll mess you up. I have to tell you, everyone, always be willing to play the fool in order to become the master. I'm nowhere near the master, but I think I'm less of a fool in some ways. Let's see here. Let's see. What is the current status between my OC and King Sombra? Well, you know, that friendship literally went to pieces because so did Sombra. He just keeps dying, and you know, I bet it's kind of like being friends with Wolverine. You know he'll be back, but you're kind of tired of waiting on him. I'm the best at what I do, which is apparently dying a lot. Good Lord, I read, what is it, Days of X? The founding of the mutant nation of Krakoa. Boy, if you think the movies are hard to keep track of, the sheer fantastic mixture of powers, resources, and locations is just mind-boggling. And I keep wondering, what happened to Professor Xavier? The dream died, and now, wow, morality, his previous ethics went out the window. Sorry, chivalry isn't dead, it's just resting. It's just harder to display these days. Rosefire, my favorite anime series. Well, I mean, they're always the classic standbys, Sailor Moon and Dragon Ball. Thoroughly enjoyed them. Was a big Zoids fan. Gundam is something I've watched for a long time, but it's kind of hard to get passionate over. Even though I did some Gundam artworks for a time. One of the things that's really frustrated me with the Gundam fan base, you think ponies have a hard time with recolor OCs. Gundam fans like to create what they call Franken Gundams. Basically, a lot of talented vector artists and coders will take parts of a Gundam and make them available in an interchangeable program. So people go to town basically inventing their own Gundams, which are more Gundams that just borrow parts from other franchises. So you might get a, say, Wing Zero looking Gundam, but it has the nuclear launch wings from Stardust Memory. And it's interesting to see what they come up with. I think Gundam Build Fighters carried that idea forward, but at the same time, you're like, oh, give me some original ideas for Gundam, please. Let's see here. Indeed, Sweet Bloom Sombra means shadow in Spanish, in Espanol. Now, oh, we're talking about Sombra in Overwatch, whom I hate. Hate, because she does perhaps the most criminal thing you can do in an online game. She makes it so you can't play it. Especially if you're someone who enjoys playing Doomfist like myself. Sombra hacks you and you're dead. And she takes all the fun out of the game by making it so you can't play the game. Here's the funny thing. Doomfist is probably the worst design character in Overwatch. Because of many technical glitches. But Sombra's the one who kills all the fun. And she's my least favorite addition. Blue Griffin, yes. Gunpla builders are kit bashers, which is not limited to just Gundam. I believe, is it the designer for Titanfall would often do a bunch of kit bashing to create the prototypes that would become the mechs in that game. So, I'm not saying, I don't mean to discourage people from kit bashing or envisioning, but ask yourself, what can I create that hasn't been seen before? And to be honest, as 3D printing becomes more widely available, I kind of wonder what that means for Gunpla and kit bashers. Rodan, Tracer as a Pegasus at some point. That would be interesting. I've often pictured Genji as an Earth Pony. Genji is with you. What I always love is Sentai skin. Henshin! Great Burst, I'm sorry, I haven't played the Fire Emblem series. There was an earlier question if there are any good games I can recommend. I haven't really been too big on gaming. Mostly I've just been trying to catch up after time away from Destiny's Season of the Splicer. It's a little too resonant with current events in many ways. Now, River, you're supposed to find Moira of Overwatch creepy. She is... Well, they really design her to invoke a feeling of a witch. She's the Maleficent of Overwatch, really. I always enjoy a dialogue between Mercy and Moira. Mercy denounces Moira for her ethical, well, oblivion. You know, I'm not questioning your honor. I'm denying its existence, basically. But Moira doesn't care. She just argues effectiveness. And Mercy has no response because they're coming at it from completely different angles. This is why I sometimes worry about when people think ends justify the means. It's scary what you can justify under that. Let's see here. Kevin, wondering what are some moments from MLP-G4 that to you were some of the stupidest? Let's see here. Let's run through. Celestia telling Twilight in the 3rd season premiere that she has to be the one to get the heart to Cadence. That is an unnecessary limitation placed on our heroines, and it defies the point of a test. A test is meant to see what you've learned, and perhaps to help you recognize weakness. That was Celestia putting an entire empire at risk to, quote-unquote, teach Twilight a lesson, so no, I don't think that was wise. Twilight telling Rainbow Dash in Rainbow Falls that choosing not to choose isn't a choice. Baloney. Absolute baloney. No. In fact, this is actually well stated, and I believe this is a Hindu story where a warrior is refusing to face his family, who's on the opposite side, and his lord is saying, well, he's trying every trick in the book, calling on his honor, questioning his courage, insulting him. Nothing works until the Lord basically says, okay, look, you're gonna have, right now you're not choosing. Even choosing not to act is itself an action. So make a choice. The guy finally chooses to do his duty and fight, and I believe faces his family. So when Twilight says the opposite, I find that actually a very bad message. And it's funny because they contradict it in Surf and or Turf. When Twilight actually helps the Crusaders realize Terramar does not have to choose between life with the hippogriffs and life with the, we'll call them sea ponies. Basically, he doesn't have to choose one world to live in. He can be the best of both. So, Rainbow Falls, bad lesson. Bad emphasis. Let's see, what are some other... okay. Applejack and Rainbow Dash in the whole of non-compete clause. That isn't funny, it's just aggravating. Makes me aggro. Let's see here. A little VA meta says fetch 26-291. Starlight and Spite fought over snails. I need a reminder on that. I don't remember. Was that like one of those outtakes that we get to hear online? I don't know. Fighting over snails. I don't remember many people fighting over snails. I think the only time you could really start an argument over snips and snails is to ask who's dumber. Sure. Snips may be the planner, but he's also not thinking things through. Which is another dumb moment when I'm rooting for the greedy guy in 246 Great. Look, hello, Misty Phantom. I'm doing well and hope you are as well. Blue Griffin quoting Rush's song Free Will. If you choose not to decide, you have still made a choice. That is true. And a good saying. Although, this is kind of funny. I discovered a new song, and honestly, that hasn't happened for me too much. Maybe I'm a little too set in my listening, but a uniquely titled song, which is going to make me sound like I'm some sort of tryhard goth. It's by Seven Spires, and it's called This God Is Dead. Enderpup, what's wrong? The music too loud? Oh, either way, I'll see what's going on. I will admit, that last song sounded pretty staticky on my end. But either way, this song... I don't know if there was something wrong with that one file. That one music file. Maybe I should delete it next time. Anyway, where was I? Oh, yes, this very gothic-sounding song. I know it sounds very dark and dismal, and indeed there's some very dark metal to it, including a singer who I swear needs a lozenge by the end. I'm singing very angry! But the weird thing is that the progression of the song, which is more than just one tone, almost denotes a growth from child belief to adult belief. And there's high points, there's low points, there's hope, there's despair. I actually find it very deep, but it has a really goth-sounding title. And even Cruelica said to me, "Hey, you listen to a song like that?" Let's see here. So, question is a favorite 80s band to listen to. Man, I don't really listen to bands. I listen to songs that inspire a story in my head. What is it? This is very odd, but there's a song by Phil Collins. He doesn't actually sing in it. It's just instrumental. But partly because I was on a sci-fi kick, I would listen to the song and envision a space battle. It just fit. And that's why I keep listening to it. So, I can name you a bunch of songs I like to listen to, but I never really have a band, per se. Which, before MP3s and iTunes and whatnot, it was kind of hard to get my favorite music on a disc because I'd buy a whole disc and only want to listen to one or two songs. Freaky like that. Though, in fairness, I did get to find out new songs I might like. Let's see here. Rosefire, have a wonderful evening and a wonderful weekend. All right, getting off the beaten path with the background. I've gone beyond the screenshot. Funny thing is that you actually get just a little bit more of a shot at night, but not much. Not much at all. I do like the idea of the grass overgrowing one of the entranceways, though. Alright, but let's continue on. Carry On My Wayward Son, which is a really good song. There'll be peace when you are done. Lay your weary head to rest. I just spit a popcorn kernel. Let's see here. What else is there? And let's see here. Lost my train of thought because of random popcorn kernels. So, that's my odd musical discovery. So, it's actually available here on YouTube. This God is Dead. And, well, I think the ending is probably the point where you're like, well, wait. Did the singer, the seeming protagonist of the story, did they just give up? Or, note the title, This God is Dead. Has your view evolved beyond, the childhood view? So it's little things like that, little things that one could argue you're reading too much into it. I could argue, no, I think I'm seeing what may or may not be there, but it's what interests me. Welcome, Skyfire Hero. Rustic Rails, free of traffic. Believe me, I know that feeling. Because I had to go to the dentist at midday today instead. I live on the opposite. My dentist is on the opposite side of town from where I work, so I had to take the freeway several times today. It's never clear. I can't find a decent. The only time I had unobstructed travel on the freeway was when we had a blizzard, and for some reason I still had to go into work while most of the city was still snowed in. I tell you one thing, I got up very early and it was a pretty much desolate drive, but I still took my sweet time getting there. As an okay, yes, I can't compete with Los Angeles, Sweetie Bloom. You all wrote the book on heavy traffic, but still, I shall voice my displeasure. Me. Let's see here. Champ to state, what is the most obscure reference I've ever made in a video? Easily the Delta Formation from Zoids, which I used in the hoof fields of the McColts. If anyone actually got that reference, well, I actually got somewhat meta and said I saluted them. Because I don't expect everyone to know. I like Zoids, but it was very much, I realize, a cliche of multiple generations of anime. You get experienced enough in a certain genre and you can start spotting the recurring patterns, which I admit sometimes takes the fun out of it. But then it also enables you to better appreciate the innovations. Though it occurs to me, there are actually several new Zoid series that I have not seen. So, we'll see. We shall see. Let's see here. Katrina, you're into Pokemon? Tried and true. I guess I feel kind of weird. I was in high school when Pokemon first at least hit US airwaves on this magical thing called Fox Kids. So, it wasn't really part of my childhood, but I have witnessed its rise. And I still resent the ever-living daylights out of a Zubat for Pokemon Go. One year at BronyCon, we were outside my panel, a panel room. I'm about to give a panel. But I'm going down the line, greeting people, saying thank you for coming. And suddenly everyone starts taking my photo with their smartphones. And my ego is soaring at this point. It's like, oh, hey, because I am not a photogenic person. Let's not kid ourselves. So, imagine my deflation when they revealed that, thanks to Pokemon Go, there was a Zubat on my face. It was twerking on my nose. Oh, it's static again. What has happened? Let's skip ahead. I'm pausing the music very briefly. I wonder why it's all staticky. If I change the volume. Okay, better now. So anyway, yes, Zubat twerking on my face. Instant deflation. I thought of all the times I fought one of those things in a cave and realized I now want a Zubat-esque creature in this upcoming Pals world. Why? Because I want to use the guns on it. I don't care if you can't actually kill it. I wish to take out my anger with firearms. Champ, wondering what's the most American thing I've ever seen? Honestly, it was a hot dog stand mascot in Copenhagen. It was modeled completely after American stereotypes. Just big hot dog man, holding up a bun, smiling and scaring small children. And I just looked at it and thought, that is so what I would expect to see in America. I feel like it was a parody of America. Or perhaps I'm just claiming too much. I feel other countries can have creepy mascots too. Oh, Red Gnome, you're asking me the impossible question. Okay. I will say this. Mantine scares me. Those unblinking eyes, that Monte Diablo shape, that silent killer look it gives. It is a thing of terror in my eyes. Zubat, I just resent on a personal level. Not afraid of it, but so resentful. Oh, Misty and Sweetie Bloom, I appreciate your praise, but I'm under no delusions. I still remember the Ice Bucket Challenge, which was the first time some people saw me, and I think one of the weirdest comments was, fat, bald, and white. I didn't expect that. Okay, 2 out of 3 I feel are a given. But why did you assume my race, my heritage? What? Of all the things people were disappointed by, that was the one that I was like, what? So, that was a really stupid. I shouldn't have done it, the Ice Bucket Challenge, because I was basically just going along with the crowd, and bad things happen when you turn your thinking over to someone else. So, if there's any moral you take away from this stream, that is a lesson I've sometimes had to relearn. Oh, geez, Rodan, you're hitting me with even harder things. Okay, see, Zubat, the question is, do I hate Zubat or the shopkeeper who was mean to Fluttershy in, oh, darn it, the Iron Will introductory episode. What was it called? Putting Your Hoof Down. I will say I dislike the shopkeeper more than Zubat because you can deflate my ego all you want, but ain't nobody be mean to Fluttershy. That's like being mean to a puppy. You do not do it. Champ. Wondering how are the Pinkie Pie Says Goodnight comics? Well, I'm a little out. I've been out of it for 2 weeks because I've been pretty creatively exhausted at times. Once I finish the streams, often I launch right into getting a Pinkie Pie Says Goodnight. But what I have planned now has to take place in the Wonderbolt's locker room and a museum wing within their base. So I have to actually make those backgrounds. This background I'm going to be using for Imani, because during a stream with Chris, one of the fans posted, "Oh, remember this?" and to a picture of Imani. He's like, "Yes, I am fully aware that I haven't updated that comic in months. Yes, I'm behind on everything." I take on too many projects. That's one of my problems. I worry at some point my friends are going to have an intervention saying, "Silver, you're doing too much. You need to stink at just one thing." Now, let's see here. We had a new person enter the chat, but I am concerned I will mispronounce this name. Hideo Shung. I know of... I worry that I'm mispronouncing that in the worst possible way, so if I have, I apologize. I don't mean any disrespect. This is why I appreciate when folks like Norma Ruiz Gallardo gives me a phonetic spelling, because I need all the help I can get. Whoops. That didn't work the way I wanted. Did you... Both Fetch and Thaddeus Risher are wondering if they should set up a Workaholics Anonymous meeting. Okay. No, sweetie, if you and Trinary are gonna have an intervention meeting, I demand at least have some shrimp. I would at least like some shrimp, because shrimp is one of my favorite foods. Random thought, there is no shrimp Pokemon, is there? Because I would hunt those to extinction. Not because I hate them, but because they'd be delicious. Oh, good. See, some of my friends are not seafood fans, so I'm glad to hear Sweetie Bloom likes shrimp. It means we can find seafood restaurants at our next meetings. Oh, and Little Heart, steak and shrimp. Oh, so you put that in some pho, and we're talking. Purple Kitty. Purple Fire Kitty 12 all over on Twitch. Anyone else use this stream as a reminder to get work done? I do these streams to make myself get work done sometimes. Oh, the idea that I am somehow helping other people remind is the height of irony. Silver-Quill's anti-procrastination gets other people working. Maybe. Ah, come on, you. Bend for me. Yep. There we go. Anoroth is a shrimp Pokemon, says Red Gnome. No, Anorith? Anorith. Hope Raptus, this might be shocking, but I have never tried shrimp pizza. But you have me intrigued. I mean, pizza is wonderfully versatile. I believe I've had shrimp in cheesy confections, but, well, if the shrimp has a very strong sea taste, wouldn't that ruin the pizza? I'm simultaneously curious but afraid to learn. This is like a... Well, I'm not sure if anyone saw a video from way back. The Angry Video Game Nerd and a bunch of his friends all got together to have a pizza sample party where they tried out any recipe mentioned by the 1980s Ninja Turtles, usually Michelangelo. So there were a lot of really disgusting recipes. What was it? Anchovies and... Okay, well, I mean, most people are turned off by anchovies, period. What were some of the weirder recipes? Okay, funny enough, marshmallows and bacon pizza they thought was pretty good. Like the marshmallow absorbed all the grease. But ultimately, most of the time they were just grossed out by it and had very choice words from Michelangelo. Let's see here. Yes, Thaddeus, I am quite mad. Mad, I tell you. Mad! Oh, and Purple Fire Kitty also sharing of my palate. Yes, clam chowder is fantastic. It's one of my favorite soups. But being in a landlocked state, I can't say I get to sample it outside of a soup can very often. Ah, Seth. Seth Moss. What do you think makes a sympathetic villain work, and what makes it not work? I don't know how to put this. I think a lot of sympathy... Well, there's a difference. Sometimes you feel sympathy for a character. But a sympathetic villain, I think, is someone with whom you've journeyed with them on the fall. You've been with them as they seem to get progressively worse. Which makes them... You may not love them or be like, oh, I wish I could heal them, but you understand. In that way, I think Light of Death Note is actually a sympathetic villain, because you see him start out as just this highly intelligent young man with a lot of potential, but by the end he's pretty much lost his humanity. And it's because not only is he tempted by power, but as that power is challenged, he keeps going a step further. And so in some ways, I watch him and I think, wow, I don't know if I would have Light's brilliance, but I could see power corrupting like that. But let's talk about maybe a character who they try to do the right thing, they try to affect change, and it just seems to get worse for them. Suzaku of Code Geass may be very sympathetic in that way. He is naive. He is carrying a lot more weight than people realize at first. He has the skills, in a weird way, to back up his naivete or his belief in justice. But he continually underestimates how bad the world can kick you. So that as he becomes more hostile and sometimes even more cutthroat, you understand why. And you may not agree with what he does, but you feel sorry. Okay, I'm just now checking the chat again. Why the heck is Tryner talking about lattes with bugs in it? Izuku from Purple Fire Kitty. I enjoy My Hero Academia, but for the moment I'm blanking on Izuku. Okay, I'm definitely not in the know on bug latte. But why is everyone suddenly having bug lattes? Let's see here. Clam chowder is delicious. Yes, I agree with the Sweetie Bloom. Wait, Triner, are you dissing clam chowder? Oh, Triner, I don't know how to respond to this. I feel so betrayed. I don't know what to feel anymore. Although, okay, I will say though, one time having a delightful bowl of clam chowder, I bit down and heard this loud crunch. There was a rock in it. And I don't know how my teeth are still intact. I am reminded of Sweetie Bloom recounting the strength of a horse's teeth. But I think I should be missing a few chompers with how that sounded. Oh, I still remember the sound and the feeling. Oh, Zeed Millennium on. One, good to see you again. Wait, is it? But Deku, I only know Deku as Deku. I mostly just know him as Deku. That's all I ever... Wait, Midoriya. Deku Midoriya, yeah? Is Izuku his, like... Oh, yeah. Man, I get the superhero names and the synonyms all mixed up. So yes, for those who are reading the manga, they're in the final stretch. Or at least the final arc. And Deku, Izuku, is, how shall I put this? He's pushing himself so hard to be a hero that people are mistaking him as a villain. He looks terrifying. He looks more like he should be a villain, but that's just him basically trying so hard and getting worn down. See, thank you, Magical Dude. See, that I know... Funny that I know him more as Midoriya and Deku. I don't hear Izuku very often except from his mom, when she's crying watching him in the tournaments. Now, granted, her son is literally setting off explosives at his feet. I think she has cause to worry. And grounds for a lawsuit. But yeah, right now, Midoriya is trying so hard to carry the burden of being a genuine hero at a time where heroes are on the decline that he's looking pretty scary. But that doesn't make him a villain. A sympathetic villain. Now, so a sympathetic villain. Well, I don't feel like we have a lot of those. See, one of the things is what doesn't work. I'll give you an odd example. Master Asia of G Gundam. He's a guy who spent most of the series cackling his head off, being way over the top. Kind of, well, a Saturday morning cartoon style villain. Until the last few episodes where he's like, oh, I've been acting like a villain. But I was really doing it for the planet. I feel so bad. No, you were holding the mecha skull of one of your best friends before you crushed it. You were not sympathetic. You've played the perfect over-the-top villain. You can't suddenly have an oh, woe is me backstory and everything's fine. I think people have to experience the loss with the character to fully appreciate a fall. If you're only being told, oh, things were so hard for them. I mean, what is it? Lord Voldemort. Harry got an entire book dedicated to why this guy was so messed up. But that didn't make me feel bad for him. It just said, okay, as is true of many stories, the society creates their own monsters. And boy, the wizarding world, they made theirs. But it didn't make me feel like, oh, he can be redeemed. Nope. There's only one way this ends for Voldemort. And that way happened. And Peppermint presents, I do remember the Hi Hi Puffy on Mayumi show. I only saw a few episodes, but I knew of it and was like, well, entertainment's a changing. Oh, hang on, is the music getting staticky again? It is. Now if I... Very staticky. This is different. This has not happened before. So, I wonder what's going on there. The fact that I wondered if it was just my headphones being staticky, but no, you all are hearing it too. It's very disappointing. It's also disappointing I didn't turn up the volume on my sound effects. Oh yes, Zuko, Red Gnome of Avatar: The Last Airbender. You see, maybe that's another thing. The more powerful a villain is, the harder time we have sympathizing with them, because they're coming at things from a position of terrible strength. Case in point, Sephiroth. You see, we saw his origin. In some ways, we walked with him as he discovered his origin in the game. But you don't feel bad for him because he's always been on a higher power level. Zuko is dangerous and villainous at times, but we also see how he's treated within his own nation, how he's at odds with his family and trying to overcome how they've treated him. Yeah, he's doing the wrong thing, and make no mistake, someone who has been abused can become the abuser, as is the case with Zuko. But because we've seen how in many ways he's a product of his own culture, we can root more when he finally gets a wake-up call. And I'm saying this is a guy who has only heard about Avatar. I haven't even gotten to experience it directly, but that comes through very clearly when people talk about the show. So yes, Zuko, I think... Oh, well. I will say I watched the M. Night Shyamalan, the Last Airbender, but I don't think that's a good representation of the show. Let's see. Fetch is wondering if I remember Silverhawks fondly. Although, funny enough, Starlight is being mentioned in the chat, so they actually coincide in a weird way. But first, let me see if the music is still staticky. No, sounds better. So, Starlight and Silverhawks. Why do I make this odd comparison? Silverhawks was a lot of fun. How cybernetic cops, basically, trying to patrol a sector of space where the fantastic happens. There's so many things. It was sort of a spiritual successor to Thundercats. But one of the gripes I realized only as I got older, as soon as they introduced new characters, the old characters disappeared almost entirely. Maybe they'd be there offering exposition or support, but they had no role in resolving the conflict anymore. It was all about getting you to buy the latest toys. I mean, let's see here. There was Hot Wing. Dang it. And then there was a time-traveling Silverhawk. He could actually go back. What was his name? Now, basically, as they were introduced, the old crew of Quicksilver, Steelheart, Steel Will, the Copper Kid, and Bluegrass all disappeared or sat at a desk. Only Stargazer was a consistent appearance. So, and then I think on Starlight Glimmer, and how everyone was afraid that she would just completely replace the main cast or shove Twilight out. I don't think she did that, but she never did integrate with the group as, one of the ponies, except for the Mean Six. That was when I thought she was most in sync with the rest of the crew. And again, it's because she was actually very vulnerable throughout the entire episode. She's not the one who makes the observation no one else does. She's not the one who has the greater insight. She's just as lost and confused and sometimes angry or disappointed as the others, which makes it easier to root for her. I think because we all have moments in our life where we may feel like we're on top, we're the rulers of the day, and that feels great. I would not deny people that feeling. But more often we know what it feels like to be at the mercy of something, to try to do our best, but we're just feeling lost. And we empathize with that. I argue anyone who has ever stubbed a toe can have at least a measure of empathy. So if someone's having trouble with that, just make them stub their toes a lot more. So, that one way or another would be hilarious. Let's see here. Rodan is saying that Eliora should punish me by forcing me to watch the Dragon Ball Evolution movie? What did I do to deserve that specifically? Purple Fire. Let's see. If you could share a link to like a tweet of your work, I'd be happy to see it, and I could bring it into Illustrator to share with folks. So please feel free to fire over a link. Will there be a new ingenious design for my shirts as Peppermint presents? Honestly, for Everfree, I've been thinking about printing up a bunch of blue shirts with the text "Blame My Sister" on them. Not necessarily my creation or my design, but a tribute to one of the best scenes in the IDW comics. I will watch Hamilton and her pup. Just not tonight or this past week. Ah! Oh no, you've set off sweet, but thanks, Enderpup. Thanks a lot. Cha. That's it. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna add I'm going to petition now for everyone to have Enderpup microchipped. See how that goes. And yes, Trinary, I have new merch to sell at Eva Free Northwest. New merch that was generously provided by friends, which got a wonderful laugh out of me. Oh, yes, Enderpup. Ouch indeed. Ouch indeed, because that's what happens when you set off the Hamilton squad. Oh, you got Sweetie Bloom typing in caps. See, Enderpup, that's what you did. Now maybe I should make sure there's Enderpup GPS. That'd be a violation of privacy. Alrighty, so got some images from Purple Fire Kitty who, but I think I'm out of the loop on this one. So maybe y'all can clue me in on this. I'm just gonna share these with everyone real quick. Pardon me. Bring these on in. Purple Fire, I need you to enlighten me here, because I see these various characters. That's not Ben 10. Oh, this one's a little tiny. Clearly a devoted gaming fan, and I believe that they're in a drink with some kind of straw. I need enlightenment on this. Champ, what? You're wondering if I've ever basically had a precognitive dream. My dreams are always weird, but but over the years, there's always that sense of deja vu. It's like, didn't I dream something about this once? But it's always just deja vu. Nothing more. Let's see here. If I were precognitive, that would be something. So, but I'm intrigued by these. They look like drinks. Are those chocolates? And I'm not sure of whose these peeps are, but they look like they're having fun. Except for this fellow. Someone's a little pouty here. Ooh, pouty. Anywho, well, pardon me. I wanted to share that. I'm glad when folks can accomplish their own works as I try to accomplish my own. Let's see how we're doing here. These hallways. Well, it's definitely looking like a hallway. Very hallway inspired. Like being stuck in a sinking ship. It's a collab LP channel called TRG. Pokemon Fire Eevee? You just used a lot of letters that I don't know. I'm bad. It's you kids today with your abbreviations. But let's see. I think one similar question earlier was one of the weirdest dreams I ever had. There was a dream I had where I have to set the stage in my real life first. I was at a job, very stressful, relatively fresh out of college. I was trying to, figure out life, all this darn adulting. And so when things were going really bad, I had this dream. And I admit this sounds a little gross at first. I was going to the bathroom. And I think it was in a stall. But suddenly, the room flooded. The walls of the stall became transparent. And there was this sea monster, eel-like, swimming around outside. And I braced my feet against the stall door, thinking that if I could just keep that brace, it wouldn't get me. I, for some reason, could breathe underwater. That part still still doesn't make sense. I talked it over with a friend and sort of agreed that the big theme was more holding back a difficult force, trying to keep going when things are tough. Now, funny enough, in Jungian studies, they argue that the sea represents the subconscious. That is an expression of all the unknowns within us, and even a sea monster is a representation of our innermost subconscious. That you often have to confront the monster in order to overcome it, which is why I actually go a little gaga for Aquaman in the movie when he goes to claim the trident. Yes, sweetie, it was a very wet dream, but thankfully not a smelly one. It wasn't a bathroom stall, after all. Man, if that was just me being hungry for seafood, I would almost swear off seafood after a dream like that, but the allure of shrimp is too strong. I'm powerless against it. All right, Purple Fire Kitty sharing with us that those were custom sprites that were made for the Runaway Guys crew for a game called 100% Orange Juice. Oh, my Venue Hall buds like to play that. The red one, oh wait, this requires proper introductions. All right. The red one, who's a little pouty. Come on, you. There you go. Red one, who's a little pouty, is Chugga Conroy in Lemonade, with the poses in reference to a stream innuendo that you can find if you look up Chugga's Lost Innocence. I'm a little afraid to, with the description like that. Chugga's Lost Innocence. So, something's going on there. Next custom sprite is in purple. I said in purple, not... Wow, you're so bitter you actually are trying to get back in my video. Here we go. This guy looks like he's having some of the most fun. Purple one is Proton John, a fellow streamer and a YouTuber. And the green one, who's probably the most joyful... Whoops. Pardon me 1 sec as I fetch the green one. Most joyful, but also save the smallest possible image. This is Nintendo Capri Sun. All these folks are gamers, which might explain why I haven't really heard of them. My primary gaming is Neebs Gaming, and from there, it's just that they have so much fun even when they're being bad at it. Peppermint, I used to be a big-time gamer, but I haven't had as much time. I might do a little bit tonight, although it's more sadism for me. No, wait, it's masochism. When you hurt yourself, it's masochism. The Iron Banner has returned to Destiny, which is it's the bounties give you some good gear. It used to be that the Iron Banner was actually fun, but these days there's such an imbalance in the game. It's really just play enough to earn the bounties, call it good, and don't play again for the rest of the weekend. Iron Banner, you used to be the most fun event. What happened? Well, actually, I can tell you what happened. They pretty much stopped developing the Crucible, the player versus player, and, well, their emphasis has been more on the gaming, the player versus everyone, which isn't what some people like to play. Oh, hello, Princess Lady Pirate. And I see Evangelion 007. I'm not familiar with that term, but basically, why is Starlight a jobber by the end? Particularly in the final season, she is brainwashed by King Sombra, she is captured by Queen Chrysalis, even though, and let's be honest, walking away from that explosion was pretty boss. Starlight had her boss moment, but it was unfortunately undone. I think because they were trying to wrap things up, the emphasis shifted a little more towards Twilight and Friends, and setting Starlight up as the head of the School of Friendship. So, suddenly she wasn't allowed to be, it wasn't really about her magical power anymore. It was social situations, and boy, that's not necessarily her strong suit. but she worked through it. Again, when you see her work through it, it's a bit more empathetic. I won't lie, Trixie in the matter of... Well, no, it wasn't a matter of principles. Dang it, what's the one where she's... Starlight is looking for a vice principal, and Trixie thinks she's a shoo-in. Oh, Snowy Motorcycle is... Okay. To answer Snowy Motorcycle and... who was saying what games do I play? First off, Thaddeus Risher, thank you. A Horseshoe-In was the episode I'm looking for. Ender Pup. Chess has had no update since 1357. True. Wait, no, that's not true. You lie. Because I happen to know that I got my good friend, the Illustrious Q, a 3D chess game. And that's an update because I don't think they had that back in 1357. I don't have a lot of people I could ask. But anyway. Snowy and some other folks are wondering what kind of games do I play. I've wondered if I did every now and again take a break from vectoring and instead played a video game and answered questions while I played. Would that be interesting to you guys, or would that be just like every other YouTuber out there? I mean, I feel like that's a pretty standard fallback. I would probably call it something like Silver Sucks at this game. Most recently, I've played Spider-Man and Spider-Man Miles Morales, Overwatch, it's been on the shelf for a little while, Destiny and Destiny 2, and a few here and there's, but I haven't really been swept up in a game, like really gung-ho in a while. VTuber. Oh yes, Under. I do need to look into, could someone make a VTuber hippogriff? I know there are like human VTubes, but surely someone's broached the topic of actually being a different creature. Then again, maybe that's the next evolution of VTubing. I imagine it will cost a pretty penny, though. Oh well. Questions for later. There's a Sonic VTuber? Who is this Sonic VTuber, Ender? Alright, Wolfie Star, I hope you have a wonderful rest and have a great weekend. Now, I've never played a TikTok game. I don't even have an account with TikTok. Honestly, I mostly think of that song, Don't Stop, Make It Pop. That's what I think when I hear TikTok. Ugh. And how's this for torture? One of my coworkers, every Friday, plays that song, Friday, by the young girl whose mom basically paid money for her to get a music video, and it's razzed as one of the worst songs ever made. So, we play this every Friday. So today, I struck back. I played for them at break Death Battle, Justin Bieber versus Rebecca Black of Friday. So they got to see a complete recounting of these two singing idols fighting each other. And they had a good laugh. And it's like, yeah, see, it's more fun when they're in a death battle than it is singing. I don't know if my words reach them, but I will try to show them a better way. But think of me... Oh, God. Stephen Hayes, play Baby Shark next time? Oh, perhaps I should have consulted everyone on countermeasures sooner. Yes, you could all help me in this inter-office war. War, I say. How does it go in Phantom of the Opera? So it shall be war upon you both. Okay, now is this not behind? Curse layering. So difficult. You get so many things in play. Oh, Thaddeus, if it's Justin Bieber versus Featherbangs, considering that they're meant to be one on each other, I'm going for a double KO. Just have them both taken out. Okay, sweetie, but playing good music isn't annoying people. Yeah, it has to be bad music. Still getting passive-aggressive Hamilton reminders. Thanks, Enterpop. Thanks, Shaw. Caw. Okay, let's get all this on the same page. Here we go. Boop. Could have sworn I drew a background there, but I didn't. Let's fix that. Anywho. Okay, yes, Triner, Featherbangs may... Well, okay, I don't know. There might be some Beliebers in the audience. I'm not a Justin Bieber fan, but I am most definitely not the target audience there. But, how shall I put this? Featherbangs, the strangest thing is that he apparently has a trans-dimensional backup group. They just appear anywhere. I just see them appearing from the void. They're like creatures of the warp that just pop into existence whenever a song begins, and they're there. And Featherbangs could use that power for good. He could offer aid to all of Equestria, but he uses it to pick up girls. So, how am I to interpret this gross abuse of power? Destroy Featherbangs. I do appreciate Vincent Tong even admitted at Everfree, which is where I saw that episode. He admitted that he kind of identifies with Flash and Featherbangs as that one of his fears was talking to women. Because you don't know what to say right away. It's only through trial and very much error. Trina, I didn't know that you thought Ember was the... no, not Ember. Smolder was best dragon. Achilles' heel can be annoying to anyone who doesn't like the romance or breakup genre of music. I haven't listened to Achilles' heel. But then again, given that name, I imagine people have a weakness for it. There we go. Alright, hush all of you. We'll just have to get better with these sound effect buttons. But at least you could hear it this time. Alrighty. So, now that's a better looking floor. Better, but not perfect. There we go. Yes. Gotta say, I'm always intrigued, because way up here, I have... Well, this is when I need to draw the Elements of Harmony days. But look at how the castle appeared as ruins in just the very first episode. And now, this is what they work with. There are updates to like Sakura's home and Rainbow Dash's home and Cloudsdale. I'm really impressed that the show staff never rested on what had already happened. They visually improved a lot of things. Not going to say that every change was the greatest ever, but I enjoyed it. I still wonder, however, how they transitioned the Royal Sisters' throne room in Canterlot to suddenly have two thrones. What did it take? What did it take to get Celestia to put that in? Roger Rainmaker. I do listen to pop music, but mostly I just listen to whatever I like. I don't worry too much about genre, other than to make jokes. I mean, guess it's been a while since I could say I listened to any specific. TikTok is actually a song I enjoy the energy, if nothing else. Honestly, I've been listening to more J-pop thanks to anime openings. I especially like the band Back On, who have at least several songs that I like. And funny enough, I say, I don't listen to bands, I listen to songs I like. But in the case of Back On, they have several songs I really enjoy. Here's the funny thing. What about the students hanging out at these ruins is a breach of continuity? There are ruins. They still exist, until they kinda don't. It is still continuity. Zakura still has a home, it just looks better. It's continuity, but with improvement. It's when suddenly, like, imagine for a moment if we skipped the whole of Twilight's Kingdom and then just bounced into a new season and she was living in the castle. You'd be like, what? What? When? Where? Why? How? What? And I know you think, well, that sounds silly. Well, I will point you all to Japan. They got the 3rd season of Transformers without ever getting the movie. And this manifests because several characters who died in the movie would appear in later Japanese Transformers. So Prowl would be fighting alongside Ultra Magnus. Wheeljack would be talking with Starsaber. And I just thought, how hard must that have felt? Because suddenly, who's this new leader, Rodimus? Who are these new guys? Why are they on Cybertron? What happened to everybody? What do you mean no spoilers, guys? I'm not... Guys, the Transformers series I'm talking about are over 20 years old at least. 30 years old. It's been a long time. They're out on DVD. Avail yourselves. And you can't tell me you don't know about who buys it in the 1980s Transformers movie. We spent a lot of time traumatizing a generation to achieve that. My goodness. If people are saying no spoilers about... Oh, actually, Katrina, I was just singing Transformers Prime's praises, especially its characterization and presentation of Knockout with the most recent Transformers My Little Pony crossover. It was a thoroughly enjoyable, but Knockout really stole the show, especially when partnered with Rarity. Okay, now everyone's just screaming no spoilers. I don't even know... I don't even know what I'm spoiling anymore. I'm, like, behind on the topic. Okay, fine. Here's a spoiler for you all. Rosebud is the sleigh. Little Heart, you're... Okay, I confess, I did not give the Bumblebee movie a chance because too many of the Michael Bay films had really frustrated me. I've seen clips. I'm pleased to see that they redesigned for the... to look a little bit more in line with their G1 inspirations. I've heard that there's another trailer out for a Transformers live action, but I gave up after Revenge of the Fallen. Oh, sweetie. You lie, but you lie so kind. No, Evangelion. First, you don't drop a truth bomb if people literally don't know who dies in Transformers. Spoiler warning, the Transformers are robots. Yeah, I don't know. Everybody's screaming no spoilers. Well, Trinary, I think you're drunk. You need to go to bed. You're crossing your spoilers. You think crossing the streams is bad? Don't cross the spoilers. Oh, sorry, is don't cross the streams a spoiler? Well, too bad. Oh no, Raptic quoting who died on the first disc. Okay, you're quoting a time before Blu-rays. If that's the spoiler, wow, you guys have been out of it. Honestly, I haven't gotten this worked up about media since last weekend when I held my campaign against animated plaid. Oh, now, Nintendo Meta Runner, you're spoiling. The cake is a lie, and I know that, but apparently everyone's screaming spoilers. Roger Rainmaker, can I tell a My Little Pony joke? Just a small one. What happens when the Cutie Mark Crusaders are late to school? They have to hoof it. Let's see here. What's another good one? Oh, Applejack. No one wants to play video games with Applejack because he's always farming. Let's see here. Chap today, do I remember any episodes of PBS Kids Arthur? You know, I think I missed the boat on that one. I don't remember watching Arthur. I know of him. I know that recently, well, oh wow, this isn't even recently. I think it was 2 or 3 years ago. Arthur celebrated a same-sex marriage, which is progressive. I like it. But I, myself, was out of it. My Arthur experience is usually reserved for a king and his wizard, who's arguably more famous and powerful. Let's see here. What? Let's see here. I'm just seeing what people are playing. Blue Griffin, what do you call a community of ponies? A neighborhood. Thaddeus Swisher, Rainbow Dash doesn't do plans. She wings it. Sweetie thinks I was watching Cartoon Network by the time Arthur hit the scene. Very possible. It's funny. Odd thing is, I never really stopped loving cartoons. And my family sometimes put their hooves, wow, I'm even speaking lingo. They put their feet down on, you need to stop watching this. It's not your age. Maybe that was the good thing, but eventually you come back. Then again, they helped prevent me from watching Power Rangers Turbo. I consider that a saving grace. Well, let's see here. What happens whenever someone does a flyby of Luna? They realize they're over the moon. And let's see. Oh yeah. What's Sunburst's favorite in-game currency? Glimmer. I can't get off the stage, Red Gnome. There is no stage. I've gone full Matrix on you. Whoa. Sorry, Purple Fire Kitty. I have not heard of the Rough Man Show. Zapu Mafu? Ugh. Sorry, user, I have not yet seen Luca. I think I would want to see it with my friends. Picademos, what is Shining Armor's favorite movie? The Shinin. Don't you mean Shining? Shh, you want to get sued? I do love... That was from when the Treehouse of Horror was like the highlight of the Simpsons seasons. Champ, the Pinkie Pie comics are slowly progressing. I need to work out some Wonderbolt backgrounds before I can do the next installment. I know it seems like I've been going in circles, but there is actually a purpose to all this. A method to my madness, if you will. Beyond the madness of puns. Zobofumo. Good lord, how does anyone pronounce this? Zobomafu was an animal education show starring a lemur. Well, that's I guess better that than a lemming. The show really would have gone off the cliff then. Zabumafu. Oh my goodness. Interesting question, Magical Dude. Do I think there are similarities between Usagi, Mamoru, and Shining and Cadence? No, not as much. The thing is, Shining and Cadence, we were often told that they were in love. Sailor Moon, we got to see them hanging out, spending time together, having the relationship grow beyond just, beyond just fighting the villain. You know, it's like I have a life beyond fighting evil by moonlight. Just not as much. But actually, those are the ones I most enjoy. Especially, there was an episode where they had to care for a baby. So this was years before they would have Chibiusa. And seeing them try to handle it, that was fun. It's those moments that make you really celebrate a relationship, not everyone telling you how much they're in love. Now, let's see here. The Rough Ruffman Show was a game show hosted by an animated dog that had STEM-based challenges. STEM-based, so they never got to the root of the problem? Anyway, I'm just gonna wait for everyone to catch up and boo that. Let's see here. You know, I still need to do a review of Dragon Ball Battle of Gods, because I still find that quite fascinating. Beerus, I will argue, is the true protagonist of that movie. And Goku, despite the fact we get a lot of focus on him, is the antagonist. Red Gnome, you don't have to retract that message. I know your boos are in good fun. I saw it for just a split second, but please don't feel ashamed if you boo me. As I said, some of my best friends expressed their affection by saying, "I hate you." Meh. Pickett Amos, what do you call a horse that likes to stay up late? A nightmare. You know, I'm going to wear out that button tonight. But, you know, when we're talking about horses, I'm all hot to trot. Okay, so Katrina Reptis, why did I like Transformers Prime so much, and why Knockout? I like the spider one, black, I believe that's Arachnia, and Soundwave. Okay, Soundwave, silent but deadly. Knockout was different than many a Decepticon. In some ways, he had a similarity. He shared opportunism, ego, a sadistic side, though he never needed to act it out. It was enough to know he was in a moment of power. One example being when he had, it's not Blue Streak, Smokescreen. There we go, Smokescreen on his surgical table, and he was seeming all eager to cut him open. Then he takes out this device that lets you phase through matter, says, "Made you flinch," and just reaches in to retrieve the item he sought. He didn't need to hurt anyone. He just needed to have that moment of, I'm in charge. But how shall I put it? He's fascinated by Earth culture. He made his alt mode choice based not on military application, but style. He is equal parts sadist and coward in an interesting way. He takes plenty of lumps, so you never feel like he's going unpunished for his actions. But you also kind of wonder, is there a little bit of depth that he could be reformed, as the movie Predacons Rising might hint? Sorry, spoilers, but it's been several years. Well, let's see here. Oh, let's see. Enderpup, what's a horse's favorite hairstyle? A ponytail. That's also their favorite kind of story. Well, Trainer, I would argue that Arachnid is not, though she's spider-themed, she is definitely not the same as Black Arachnia. Black Arachnia turned out to be one of the most interesting characters of Beast Wars, and kind of sympathetic in animated. But Arachnid is just a monster. They really had some fun with the fear factor in her, and even her farewell was a horror homage. Whoop, here we go. Whoop, ba-doop. Let's see here. You know, I realize I turned off the music and never brought it back. You guys are fun to talk with. So apologies, it's been so quiet. Oh, no, not alone. We did that one all right. We did that one. Shuffle. Let's see if it's staticky. I can barely hear anything at the moment. Oh, well. Let's see here. What do you call a pony wedding? A marriage. And what do you call a horse with a shoe? Well, Katrina, I'm not sure. Oh, that's quite literal. It is a horseshoe. But, well, let's see here. Oh. What's a young pony's favorite band? Coldplay. Oh. Let's see here, let's see. See, getting to enjoy chatting with people even through a chat makes me excited for Everfree Northwest, where I can talk with people in person. I admit, though, I'm an introvert. There will be times where I feel overwhelmed. That is just part and parcel. You got to accept that with the joy of connecting with people. You take the good, you take the bad, you take it all, and there you have the facts of life. And the fact is that some of you are probably wondering, what song is he singing? And that makes me so old. Old and sad. Gravy. This drawing will be the ruin of me. Oh, here we go. We're moving beyond pony puns now. What chocolate did the Egyptians eat? Ferrero Rocher. Well, I botched that delivery. Rocher? Ferrero Rocher? Purple, I get the sense that you have a more refined palate than I. I don't even know a chocolate. What is that based on? Because I'll tell you, I don't mind telling y'all, I'm always in the market for new chocolate. Despite concerns for health and all that. Oh, Chris! Oh, Chris, good to see you. So, yes, we could talk food. I would very much enjoy that. Renamon. Who is my favorite? Well, actually, I should get a plug. Chris will be hosting another Chill and Chat this Sunday. And so, how should I put this? I will tweet out a link to the video, to the stream, but it's over on the Twitch, and I invite everyone to come check it out. It's a fun time. I know guests will be Sweetie Bloom and Eliora, last I heard. Oh, Ferrero Rocher. Chocolate... I'm sorry, Purple Fire Kitty. Are we talking literal chocolate beetles? Because that just went down. I can barely handle the idea of escargot. Although I once tormented my poor friend Krelka. I got her, apparently there is a snack of silkworms. Actual silkworms. They're for sale in several J-Marts where I live. And she never opened them. She cursed me quite handedly for even suggesting such a thing, but I was just amazed. I didn't even know. Oh, my bad. Not Eliora, Ellie Ray. Oh, Thaddeus, you don't listen to me because I'm a feather brain. But it's also true. Oh, Purple Fire Kitty, you definitely have a more refined palate than I. In fact, I've come to realize this about pretty much all my friends. I learned it when my trading card game buds were out here. I've learned it talking with my vending hall buds and having some wonderful lunches and dinners. All my friends have much more refined tastes, no better places, and are more adventurous than I. It's because I've met them that I've expanded my range. So, and I confess, I've never had escargot. I only know that it's snails. Spoiler warning. And therefore, I'm like, I don't know what that would taste like. So to find out that there's chocolate-covered beetles out there, I also don't know what that would taste like. See, there is so much of the world yet undiscovered. But I don't think my friends would want to sample beetles with me. I might be having Beetlejuice jokes the whole time. Oh dear. I know it doesn't look like anything's happening, but I'm actually moving this down in the layer. There we go. All right, well, Trinary's had lunch with those wonderful vending hall folks, and what's wrong with pancakes and chocolate milk? That sounds fantastic. I mean, just because you enjoy new things doesn't mean you can't enjoy the classics. So y'all, we're about at that cutoff time where I can get some dinner and well, tackle other things before the day is done. But all this talk about shrimp earlier made me hankering for some sushi. Grizz, I'll have to double check on the Prance front. I'm not aware of having a new card yet. Oh, yes. So, someone asked earlier who my favorite of the Student 6 was, and I never answered. You know, I really liked Gallus. I like the guy who's trying to play that he's not smart or not interested, and yet of all of them, he seems to have the most passion for learning. But Yona quickly became a darling, just for, well, everything. Her love and affection towards Rockhoof, her relationship with Sandbar. I'll be honest, as much as I love her, there were points I thought, you know, we focus so much on Yona. When are Silverstream and Ocellus going to get a little extra? Oh. Let's see here. I will do my best if I can remember. I might end up doing it tomorrow because I'm just really bad at... Once I shut down for an evening, I really try to shut down. So, I don't mean to ignore people, but I'm also just really bad at this sometimes. Let's see here. Purple Fire Kitty tried escargot at Disney World during the Food and Wine Festival. I'll be. I'm kind of surprised. I didn't know Disney World had that level of, well, adventure. But then again, you mentioned it was for a wine and festival, a wine and food week. Though odd we have the Taste of Colorado here. Obviously, it didn't happen last year. I don't know if it will happen this year. They serve interesting food. I had fried gator. That's something. Although, I'll tell you true, as much as I love shrimp, I will also go out of my way for a turkey leg. You get a roast turkey leg at at a food fair or a Renaissance festival, and I feel just primeval having this big meat bone and biting into it, and I find it quite delicious. Oh, Katrina, my favorite Autobot. I feel like Optimus Prime would be too easy. When I was a kid, Ultra Magnus was my favorite because he was sort of the next evolution of Prime. And he was, well, I guess because he was the closest thing we had to Optimus in the third season for a bit. You know, I've actually grown more sympathetic towards Hot Rod / Rodimus. So, take from that what you will. I actually like the inexperienced leader. As happy as I was as a kid when Optimus Prime made a grand entrance, later on I thought, you know, there's no point in going backwards. If anything, I've appreciated that a lot of Transformers fanfiction I've seen has been trying to get Rodimus back in the game without taking away Optimus. It's an interesting idea. So, I realize that's kind of meandering, but I had a meandering love of Transformers. It's still one of my favorite series and the story I most associate with my youth, but there were different times, different favorites. Well, Chris, we will get you here to America at some point. There are many people who I would love to have over here in America. I'm hoping that before too long I can welcome Mad Munchkin. Hello, Matt Cox. Ah, good. You're a Transformers fan as well. Excellent. And Griffin, Blue Griffin, favorite was Skyfire. Now there's a bit of a continuity hiccup that I could forgive. Like, Skyfire's introductory episode, they make it look like he's dead. But then they bring him back, and I was like, yeah, that's good. Don't introduce a character just to kill them. Especially after he just got things settled. Actually, I was kind of sorry. I never knew what happened to him. There are certain things where you're like, I need to go back and watch for the last appearance of Skyfire. The last appearance of the old throne room for Celestia and Luna. But really Celestia. Actually, gosh, was Shadowplay the last? It was. That'd be kind of funny. It'd be like Star Swirl said, "This is a great throne. Luna, where's yours?" And next thing you know, they got a renovation happening. Toot sweet. Yes, Picademos, I have seen both animated and Armada of the Transformers. And Roger Rainmaker, I loved Inside Out. That's another really great Pixar Disney movie. Though I admit, I also got a kick out of how it should have ended. Asking, wait, Joy, you got sad. Does that mean you have little people in your head as well? So, just watch it. Just go to YouTube. How it should have ended, Inside Out. Let's see here. Matt Cox, would you like to ask a question? Feel free. I appreciate that you enjoyed the TF2 Analysis Anarchy movie. Anywho. Ranting about bad autocorrect is don't mind me, little heart. Nice. So, I think I will try to tackle Matt's question, and then I think we'll need to call it a night. Because, like I say, got a craving for some food, and sushi seems high on the list. Shrimp sushi. Ooh, tempura. Like Comet, I am doing my best to replicate a hallway of the ruins of the Castle of Two Sisters. I've gotten pretty far tonight in the fact that these walls didn't exist. Right now there's a floating alicorn specter. Oh, happy 4th of July, Matt. Let's see here. Favorite Champ to Stay's favorite Autobot is Bumblebee. Let's see here. Out of all the Transformers, what was your favorite place for the Transformers? What do you think could be better? My favorite place... Well, okay. I was always fascinated by Cybertron. It's a planet that just seems to have mystery upon mystery, no matter the generation. It's ancient, it's unknown, and it holds plenty of surprises. Honestly, a couple Cybertronian adventure stories wouldn't be a bad setting. What could they have done better? Well, I love G1. It is my Transformers. It is what I think of when I say these characters. But boy, oh boy, could it have done a lot of things better, including animation, character development, continuity, not being racist with its jokes. I'm sorry, but man, 80s were not a good time by today's standards. And really, here's the thing, guys. I don't believe in value shifting with time. I believe that our view of what's right and wrong can be obscured by the time we live in. But sooner or later, the truth punches through. I'm not proud of the humor used in a lot of 80s cartoons now, and I don't buy into, it was a product of its time. Maybe it was, but that doesn't make it right. So I hope that things will continue to improve, and that our humor will evolve. That's all there is to it. Yes, Trinary. Purple Fire, I would appreciate a treat. Give me a tag. Oh, no, Evangelion 007. I haven't even seen the Justice League Snyder cut. For me, I'm sorry, but you make a movie and it's like, that's your chance. If you're suddenly going to revise, even George Lucas with his special editions, I still prefer the original Star Wars because that was my first experience. It's what I default to. Everything else is this CG blur that got in the way. Though I did appreciate the restored scene with Biggs before they attacked the Death Star. Even so, going back and changing a movie after it's been published, I feel like, there's no point in going backwards. The way is forward. If you feel like you did something wrong or something that went underdeveloped in one movie, I feel like that's a good springboard for your next movie. Picademos. How do you know fart jokes can't evolve? Once we introduce smell-o-vision, it will be a whole renaissance of fart jokes. Alrighty. Roger Rainmaker, I play a mean kazoo. That's about it. Anyway, I am past the cutoff point once again, because again, getting to chat with you all is fun, and I get drawn in. And I appreciate you working with me even through the strange technology that is iTunes. I have to think that iTunes is having trouble. Or not. That is. Oh. The scenes in Fantasia where they took them out. That's a hard one. Here's the funny thing about Fantasia has actually several scenes that have been censored due to, well, being incredibly insensitive. People say products of their time. I think with scenes like that and scenes, well, other stories that have a very sensitive racial aspect, we don't want to deny their existence because that's denying the chance to learn from them. But it's not something you casually introduce. It needs to be set in a context as a means for discussion. And so censoring it for a general broadcast, I don't think is the wrong thing. But I also think that it's okay to make it available and encourage people to have a discussion about it. Why did people feel comfortable making this choice then? What weren't they aware of? What do we know now that we can learn and improve? Song of the South, which that's locked up tight in Disney Vault. Again, not something that one can introduce casually. I think it's something that needs to be discussed in a more, to provide information. Censorship just to hide a bad memory will ultimately prove destructive. Setting proper context to present ideas will be a greater strength. And with that, having talked now about some very embarrassing moments in American entertainment, I do want to wish you all a wonderful 4th of July. I'll say it's the past several years, you start to question the American ideal. This year started with people so galvanized that they were attacking our capital. And basically, we're so polarized right now. I still believe in the ideals, but ideals are stars by which we navigate. They are not destinations. We are still refining our country. We're still refining our perceptions of right and wrong. We are still looking for the truth. And if there's anything to celebrate on the 4th of July, is that we are still able to pursue that, even when things get hard. There are parts of the world where that pursuit is not even an option. So I am grateful for that opportunity, and I still hope for the best of our country. I wish you all a wonderful weekend. Happy 4th of July. Be safe and be well. And I'll talk with my friends about having a Hamilton party, Sweetie Bloom, okay? Stop pressuring me. I'm Silver-Quill. Thanks for